Yeah, no, I mean he was a failure at City. I mean, I not gonna lie, bro. The man, it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work.
You're going to pay a lot for Brazilians in this market. You always have to pay
Whoa,
for
whoa,
Brazilians.
whoa! Rephrase that.
Call me Johnny Sins for the ladies and them.
I mean,
How good is he? And it's Cristiano Ronaldo by himself. I don't believe it. That is beyond special. Again and again and again. What about? There's your fairy tale.
alright, welcome back everyone.
This is episode 4.
Episode
In the
four.
dark again. We sticking with this vibe.
Yeah, we're back in the classroom.
Correct.
We have a new teacher.
I changed my jersey and we have a new teacher. So I'm now a student.
Call me Johnny Sins for the ladies and them.
If you didn't see our last video, you can check it out. We did power rankings with the same point system that we're going to use today. The point system is going to change a little bit. Just we're going to run through the top 20 transfers of the season so far, and we will all assign point values from 1 to 5 for each player. Once we get those point totals ready, we will get a list of the top 10 players that we will share on our social media, but this one will be top 20, so you can stick around for the whole video to see the top.
So question, we add in, when we put our numbers, we add in.
We'll add it up and make a top. It's 20 players here, we'll make a top 10 list.
Yeah.
Alright, safe. Cool. Lego.
So we're starting with first Chouameni to Real Madrid. So Amis,
Yeah.
1 to 5.
1 to 5.
80 million by the way.
Yeah, I would say he a little overpriced, but he's a solid player for the future. I would say 4.
4?
Yeah.
Johnny.
Solid player for sure. I think the price was a little ridiculous. There was Real Madrid's only signing, which was very surprising. I will give him a 3.
3?
No, I mean now I feel like a player is worth what people are willing to
Of
pay. Yeah?
course.
But he is 80 million. It's way too high, but still, you know.
Of course.
I rate the player very highly. 80 million is a little steep for me, but I think he's gonna have a very good future at Real. I would give it a 4 too.
Yeah, and I think he's a player in a position that they need for the
Yes.
future. They're aging in that position, so yeah.
Yeah,
So next up we have Darwin Núñez to Liverpool, 75 million. Amis.
I think honestly, it was a great signing. I don't really see 75 million being too high for him. I would give him a 5 because I feel like he is the future for them, striker wise.
Johnny.
Yeah, I wouldn't give him a 5. I think that's too high. I think it was still a little pricey. Again, what Amis was saying, you're worth what a club is willing to pay for you, but he only really had one stellar season so far in his career. But we can see if he could improve from there and try to win Liverpool a title this season. I
Let's
will
hope
give
not.
him a 4.
4? Alright. I still think he's raw in his game. He has a lot of work to do to improve his overall game. But I think he has a bright future under Liverpool, so I will give him a 4 also. Next up we have De Ligt to Bayern Munich for 67 million.
Yeah, honestly, I think based on what he did in Juve, I don't think he would 67 million. He had a bright future. He kind of lulled off in Juve. So I feel that's why they moved him on. Bayern is a great team to be in, and I think he will fit their system a little bit better. I will give him a 3.
3?
Yeah.
Johnny.
I would say it was a great signing from Bayern. Of course, they lost Sula, who ended up joining Dortmund, and they needed to replace him. It was a great signing on Bayern's part, but I still think the price was a little too much based on how much Juve paid for him in the past. They ended up getting back their money's worth, so they did well. But in Bayern's regard, I still think they paid a little bit too much, so I will give them a 3.
3.
Yeah, I'll give them a 3.
I think he's only 22 still. I think it was time for him to move on from Juventus. I don't find it was working. I would give it a 3 too, but only because of price. But I think he has a bright future at Bayern Munich. So
Yeah, and I mean, he's been named as in our football lips for a while,
Of course.
but he's still young.
He's
so,
only
you know,
22 and he's
yeah.
been in football
Correct,
very long.
correct. So props to him.
Yeah.
Sure.
So now up next we have Cucurella to Chelsea.
I think honestly it's a real good signing. I feel it's something they needed just to inject a little youth and a little something different into the team. I don't think it's like best in the world they could have get. I don't think it was their first choice per se. And for 65 million, you know, I will give it a 4. I'll give it a 4, yeah.
Alright. Johnny, well, use the expert of Chelsea, so now we hear your take.
I think the price was a little steep, but based on what Anis was alluding to earlier, we didn't really get our first choice targets this season. We tried for Dillet, of course he ended up going to Bayern. Then we tried for Koundé, who ended up going to Barcelona. So we had to settle for somebody. I think he's a good player because he could play both positions. He could play left centre back and he could play left wing back. And I think he will slot in well at left centre back as well. So I will give him a 4.
4. I think he did well at Brighton last season. Obviously, that was his first season in the Premier League. I think he will provide competition to Ben Chilwell. Obviously, Chilwell is not reliable for the whole season to play. He could also play left centre back, as Johnny said. I think he's a solid player. I will also give him a 4. Up next, we have the big boy, Erling Haaland to Man City, 60 million.
Yeah, boy. I mean, he's scary. He's scary right now. I think that buy was just not what I wanted for United. City is probably going to keep a little bit of dominance for a little while. He's young, bro. Like, he's scary. He's scary. Like, he is scary. I am sorry. Like, he is the real deal.
Yeah.
This is no BS. Like, the man outside. So, I have to give them a 5. I mean, for 60 million,
Yeah.
let's be real. I feel like his worth alone is double that. So, I mean, yeah.
If it wasn't for the release clause, he would have definitely went for about 100 plus million.
Correct.
So Man City were very lucky to get him for the 60 million they got him for. They would have probably paid double, as I said, if they signed him. If he was still had a lot of years on his contract. In terms of Haaland, I mean, he's a complete footballer. If you were to build a football in the lab, Haaland will probably come out.
Facts.
Probably not as injury prone as he is currently, but he's still young, so he's still developing. This is a no-brainer signing for City. It's a 5 for sure.
And how old he is?
21, no, 21, 22.
21 or 22.
Yeah.
21 and he's a giant.
Hands down, 5 for me is not really nothing to dwell on.
Yeah.
Obviously, people question if he could fit into Pep's system, but we all know Pep is a mastermind and could easily do that. He scored 2 goals already. He could have scored a lot today also, so 5 for me. We're going on to a controversial one, Richarlison to Tottenham for 58 million.
58 mil, bro.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice signing for Tottenham. I feel for anybody else, you know, in the top 4, probably not. I think he fits. It is controversial. We yet to see it if it works or not. But I'll give a 3. I'd give a 3.
3?
Yeah.
Johnny.
I think this one was a miss for Tottenham. I think they had great signings this window. Big up Richarlison's agent because I don't know how he managed to get that amount. I mean, in the past too, he was also quoted at 80 million to Barcelona.
That's
Somehow
crazy.
they rejected that, which was insane. But I mean, he did his part last season. He helped Everton to stay up. But at the same time, I think that price and for his role in the squad, he will be a more of a depth player. I will give him a 2.
2? Wow, okay. So,
Low blow.
low blow.
Boom bang.
For me, 58 million is kind of steep, as 2 of you all said. I think he's coming to be a rotational player because I don't see him displacing Son, Kane or Patois F.C. at the moment. He's a decent player. He had a good season last season, but I would give it a 3 in terms of value. So I would go 3 for
Now, my
Richarlison.
question, do you think Kane is going to move on from Tottenham anytime soon?
That could be a next debate, but if they see success under Conte, I don't think he move. If they don't,
Success means what? For
a
Spurs.
trophy. Because
Alright.
if they don't see success and Conte leaves and back and all that one,
Yeah,
I could see him pushing a move.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
obviously Levy will
Yeah.
be a big part in that too.
For sure. He was unhappy last season, but under Conte he seems to be happy. So we'll see how far that goes.
Now we have a nice transfer here. Rafinha to Barca for 58 million.
Yeah, I mean everybody knows Rafinha. I think he he made his name and stated his name. He's a monster on the wing, and I think he's a very creative player overall. I think he's an interesting player because I don't think he will stay a winger. I don't see him staying there. I feel he could be a number 10. I feel he could drift
Yeah,
a lot.
that's a good point.
So I think with him and like players like Ansu Fati and like that's scary. So I will give this one a 5.
5. Johnny.
Yeah, Rafinha is a great player. I just think the fit in Barca was perfect for him. The type of football they play. I regret that he didn't join Chelsea. I thought they were going to get it over the line. I think he would have been a big help. But for Barca, it's still a good signing. It's just there's a lot of spaces to compete with. So I will give him a 4.
4. Now Rafinha for me was the bright spark at Leeds United. He was their best player for 2 seasons now. Now has a new journey at Barcelona. I think he's going to do very well under Xavi, and I think that's very good business for the state that club is in right now. So I will give it a 5 also. Rafinha to Barca. I expect big things.
No, mind you, that 58 million they get, they do some proper.
They probably thief that out.
Bandits and
Bandits and crooks. Alright, so now, unfortunately, we have a Manchester United signing, Lisandro Martinez,
No,
for 57 million.
now personally, price is high. I mean, he came from Ajax, so I mean, Ajax produced some of the best players in the world. I think in Ajax, he showed that he had the potential to be one of the best. Now, my question is he a centre back? Is he a centre defensive mid? I feel like if United is able to get Varane back in the team, and I mean, Harry doesn't seem like he's going anywhere, although I want him to leave. So, my question is where would he play? And is he going to be a staple in the team? If he becomes a first team player, great. If he doesn't, waste the money. I don't want him to be a Van de Beek. So, for now, he has stuff to prove. I will say a 3.
3?
Yeah.
Johnny.
early signs show that he is a starting player for United. Van Gaal handpicked him. It was probably one of his first targets, apart from Frankie.
He said Van Gaal is not Van Gaal.
Van Gaal, sorry.
Van Gaal gone. Louis Van Gaal. After Van Gaal fall on the ground.
Ten Hag, sorry, I get him confused with our next Dutch manager. Ten Hag definitely handpicked him. At that price, I think Eredivisie, you never really see that type of money going around in Eredivisie.
It's the United tax.
It's the United tax for sure. If he signed for someone else, it wouldn't have been so expensive. He's not even a starter for Argentina.
Yeah.
So I would probably give him a 3.
3? Alright, so for me, Lisandro is an important player for what Ten Hag is trying to bring. Obviously, the first 2 games of Manchester United season,
Utter disarray.
utter disgrace, but I think for the long term and for the future, he could be a very good signing. He's very talented. He has very good on-the-ball ability for a centre-back. Obviously, you said you don't know if he's going to be a defensive he played defensive midfielder before also. For now, I would give it a 3 also because he's still unproven, and Manchester United's track record of transfers is just
trash.
yeah, so I'll give it a 3 also. So now we have Raheem Sterling to Chelsea.
Now my question, and this is why I'm glad we write it next to each other. We have Richarlison 58, Rafinha 58, Martinez 57, and Sterling 56, right?
Yeah.
United does bad business, bro. What is that? Look, these are proven Premier League players. Richarlison is too high.
Yeah.
But Rafinha 58, Sterling at 56. Sterling is proven.
Sterling is a very good
Right?
player.
The Raptor run, it works. Right? So
Yeah, that's
this
us, but
yeah, I mean this just shows that United pays way too much. Moving on from that, I just wanted to show something. Sterling at 56, I think he is a proven player. I think it's a good change for him personally. I think there's still a little bit to prove. I feel like he hasn't really lived up to his real expectations yet, although he is a solid player. I will give this for now 4. 4, yeah.
Alright. Johnny, use the Chelsea man, let me hear you.
All things considered, I think Sterling was a great signing. The price was a little steep since he just had 1 year left on his contract. Of course, there was the two City men who ended up leaving with 1 year on their contract. City did very well to get 100 plus million for those two players. Sterling was one of those players. Tuchel really liked Sterling. He handpicked Sterling as one of his attackers he wanted. So far, he's playing Sterling as a 9, which I don't think he should be doing. Sterling should be playing more on the wing. But again, this is a world-class player. Some might argue that position, but I think he's a world-class player based on his goal record. And we'll see if the system for Chelsea, if he could adapt to the system to Chelsea in the way that he did for City and help them for so many years. For that, I will give Sterling a 4.
For me, Johnny, as you said, I think Sterling is a very disrespected player, sometimes disrespected by me. Yeah. He doesn't look good on the eye.
he's
But-
not a
But
yeah.
in terms of efficiency with goals and assists,
He's good.
he's a very good player in that he has good ball carrying ability, good dribbling in a sense. It's just that he doesn't really look good on the eye.
Yeah.
That's why he's disrespected. But I would give it a 4. So I think Chelsea made a good transfer there because he's one of the best attackers in the
Yeah.
Premier League, whether you like it or not. So I'll give it a 4 also. So
No.
now
I think something that's interesting though. We kind of agreeing, which is very different from the power
Yeah.
rankings. So yeah,
Yeah.
just to bring that point.
So
up.
now we go in to our next part in London. Gabriel Jesus to Arsenal for 50 million.
Yeah, no, I mean he was a failure at City. I mean, I not gonna lie, bro. The man, it didn't work. It didn't work. And what we seen in Arsenal is it's working. So props to him. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for both teams. One gets rid of nonsense. One gets somebody they needed. And just based on the first 2 games and based on what we see in Arsenal's style of football, it seems to be working.
Yeah.
50 million, I still think they paid a little bit based on what he was doing in City. But I will give it a 4.
4.
Yeah.
Johnny.
Of course, I wouldn't say he was a failure. I would say he never really lived up to his potential at City. We thought he would take the reins after Aguero left, but Pep, for some reason, preferred Foden as a false 9 last season. But one thing with Jesus is he always relied on Jesus for the big games because Jesus always gives 100% on the field and he's very good at pressing as well. That's why I think he's a great fit for Arsenal. He's great in the build-up play. He can score goals, and for that reason, I will give him a 5.
5. Nice. No, I would have to agree. I think Jesus is a brilliant signing for Arteta, obviously. Arteta knows him from before when he was at City. I think he's a perfect signing for what Arsenal and Arteta wants. Great link-up play, good ball. He's a very complete striker, even though he could play right wing too. He's perfect for what Arsenal want, which is flexibility. I think I would rate this a 5. I think 50 million is a good price, and I mean he was good at City in my opinion, but he didn't, as Johnny said too, he didn't live up to the expectations. But I think he's going to live up to the expectations at Arsenal. So I would put a 5.
Arsenal's expectations is 4th place, by the way. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I think that was an interesting one. It's nice to see when a team and a player works. I mean, we've seen it not work too often.
So now we're moving on to the second part of the list, which is the 10th to 20th place in terms of expenditure. And now we are to Jules Koundé for 50 million for Barcelona. But at the moment of recording, he's not even registered yet. He's officially, the club bought him, but he's not registered yet.
Right,
But
so,
what do you all
I mean,
think?
he's currently a $50 million cook.
We don't even know if he getting paid yet.
I don't know what's going on there. I mean, let's just pretend he's sweating. I think he's a very good signing. 50 million is less than how much we paid for Martinez, and he is a bit more proven, I think.
Yeah.
So I will have to give him. I mean, we assuming he playing, right? We assuming this is just.
Of course.
I think he fits. I think he works. I give him a 5.
5. Johnny.
It was surprising to see that Koundé ended up going to Barca, our next transfer they hijacked from Chelsea. I really wanted him for our right centre-back position. But once he is registered to Barcelona, he can play right centre back. Well, they play a back four as Chelsea play a back three. But he could play centre back and he could play right back. So I think it was a great signing by them. One thing that he said, or supposedly said, is that he didn't want to play right back, and that was a reason he didn't want to join Chelsea. So we'll see where he fits into Barca's system, because they signed Christensen and they have a Rahu as well. So we will see how he fits into that back line, but I think it is a great signing, Koundé, and I will give him a 4.
Johnny, same as me with the 4 rating, so I'll just put mine one time. I think he's a very good signing. He's obviously proven in La Liga. He's actually one of the best centre backs in La Liga, so I think that's a very good signing for Barcelona. Very good for this system. He's a very good ball playing centre back. So I will give it a 4 also. And now we move back to the Premier League. We have Calvin Phillips for 48 million to Man City.
Honestly, this is my most depressing one to talk about because he was actually one of my favorite players last season.
And
For
you
the
wanted
past
him for
2
United.
seasons, I always wanted him for United, but I knew he wouldn't come. And he said this, he is Leeds diehard, his family is Leeds diehard. I know he wasn't going to come. I didn't want him to go to City. You know what I mean? Anybody else, I rate him very highly, dog. Like, honestly, for his position, what he does, I think is perfect. I think he could do a lot for England. I think he could do a lot for City. 5, dog. 5.
Wow.
Okay, 5. It's expensive. It's expensive, but I rate him. Like, he's one of my favorite
We don't know what
players.
he's going to do yet. So.
Yeah,
Fair.
but he's one of my favorite players.
But
for
Johnny,
sure.
what's it take?
I think 5 is a lot for him. I think he's too injury prone. He's already injured for City. He's not a starter for them. I don't think he's going to displace Rodri in that system. But I do rate him. He had a great Euros. Calvin Phillips, I mean, he and Rafinha was who kept Leeds up last season.
With the dogs.
And they did very well to recoup funds for those 2 players. But I'll give it a 2.
A 2?
Yes, because he's not a starter.
We have a 5 to a 2.
He's good depth, but
Yeah. Now my thing is, I think he will be a starter eventually.
Yeah.
Like, because I think City's system is going to change.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
I would have really loved him for Manchester United. I think he's the type of player we need to in that midfield. He's very energetic. He could carry the ball.
He's a good friend.
He's a good friend. Yeah. That's a good
The man
comparison.
is a good friend.
I also think, well, City, they have shown that they changed the system a little bit. They're playing a double pivot right now with Rodri and Gundogan at the moment. So I think Calvin could show competition for that double pivot. I don't see Rodri getting displaced, but obviously in a bigger game, Calvin could for more pragmatic approach and more defensive stability.
definitely.
I would 48 million. I don't, as Johnny said though, I don't think he will be a regular starter, but I think he will have potential, as Army say. So I will go in between. I'll probably put 3. Yeah.
No, I was real biased, but I really like it though. I mean, I based on his personality and the way he plays, I think he's a fighter.
Nah, he's a really good player. I would have
sure.
taken him in any day for Manchester United, but unfortunately he didn't want to come, and we are just shit. And now we have a big signing here. A world-class player, Robert Lewandowski, for 45 million to Barcelona.
Yeah, I mean, Robert been one of my favorite players ever, to be real honest with you. I think if you look at a striker and what a striker should be, that's him. Haaland is a complete footballer. He does a little bit more than what Lewandowski does, and I think his cap is higher. But Lewandowski, great signing, but he's old. He's old, you know what I mean? How old is he now?
Like 34?
Something like
34.
Yeah, so to pay 45 million for a 34-year-old player is a bit tough for me.
That was
to
it was
swallow.
surprising. The price for me is 34. I think he only had 1 year left on his
Yeah,
contract.
I mean, it seems like a weird one is like when United got Schweinsteiger, you know what I mean? But he's still at the top of his game. I will give it a 3.
3?
Yeah.
Alright, Johnny.
It was surprising to see Lewandowski leave because he's been at Bayern so long, but things clearly soured with the club. And he always dreamt of playing for Barcelona, and he was always focused on playing for Barcelona, and his dream move happened. Barcelona facilitated it. I'm not sure how they got shafted still, because there was no bidding war. Barca was literally the only player for him. But I mean, he's the current Ballon d'Or winner, so you have to pay a price for that, and he's also a consistent goal scorer. I will give him a 4. I think Lewandowski is going to do great things for Barca.
For me, Lewandowski is obviously he's a world-class player. I could agree with Army's 45 million for a 34-year-old on 1 year left on his contract is kind of steep, but obviously he is a world-class player. I think it's a very short-term buy though. I was surprised because Barcelona is supposedly in depth, but look at the kind of signings they're doing. I would give it a 3-2. I think he should have an instant impact, but it's not really a long-term buy. So I will go in the middle. I'll go 3. Now we have an interesting one here. It's not really a well-known name. He came from Porto and his name is Vitinha.
Right.
So what's to PSG? So what's your thought?
I don't see him playing much. I mean, so 41 million is a little weird, and it goes back to what they said about Phillips. It's a good investment, but it shows also the direction PSG is going in. They're buying a little bit for the future, and they're thinking about some stuff. He's a great player. Is yet to be seen. Let's see where it goes. So for that reason, a 3 for me.
3?
Yeah.
Johnny.
Vitinha is a tough one. How much was it?
41 million.
41 million, yeah. So this is a player not much of us know about, to be very honest. We know United was linked with him.
Yeah.
So they would have probably paid more
60
than
something.
100 million.
more than PSG.
An ex-Porto superstar.
But again, this draws back to PSG's new model. This is someone Campos probably handpicked, and he has his model. He trusts his model, and I think Vitinha could do great things for PSG once he starts for them, for sure. I will give him a 3.
3?
Yeah.
I think we could all agree on this one because I will give him a 3 also. I'm not gonna play like I knew about him before this. I've watched a few highlights of PSG. He's starting with Verratti right now, but I think he in bigger games, especially, he might get replaced from a more physical midfielder in Renato Sanchez.
For sure.
But he has been good so far. So I think 3 is a good one. Obviously, he's a next future buy. And now we are to Bremer, to Juventus for 41 million.
My question is, who's Bremer? Who's that? Where he come from? What position? Like, I don't even know what he's look like. He good?
Yeah, he good. Yeah, maybe a Serie A team of the
just
season.
for question.
No, well, he made Serie A team of the season. How old is he?
He's from Torino. I think he's 22 or 23.
23. Where he went to?
He was from Torino. He's a Brazilian centre back.
Oh, okay. Boy, well, your guess is as good as mine, but team of the season, 41 million. His name is Bremer. That's a cool name. Brazilian.
Tax.
That's always cool.
Brazilian tax.
3. Let's go with the safe option because I have no idea who he is.
Johnny?
Well, let me give you a rundown of Bremer, brilliant player. He's perfect replacement for Dillet. Hard luck to Inter fans because he looked like he was going to join Inter, but then Juventus put through a better offer, and he is going to replace Dillet. He's going to be great in that Inter system. And I think I wanted him for Chelsea personally because if you just
wanted everybody for Chelsea.
Just go on FBref and watch his statistics. They're absolutely amazing. He was on team of the season for Syria, and like I said, Brazilian tax. You're going to pay a lot for Brazilians in this market. You always have to pay for Brazilians.
Whoa! Rephrase that.
I mean.
Go ahead. And we're back.
In terms of Brazilian players, you're going to pay a tax. You're going to see Bremer emerge this season, and I think I will give him a 5.
5. Okay. Obviously, I'm not gonna say I watch plenty of Torino, but I watch a little bit of Syria, so I could tell you that he is a good player. He made team of the season last year, obviously, as Johnny said. But
thanks, Johnny.
Yeah. But I think he's a good player, and he's already proven in the Serie A. He's a very good physical defender. He's a very good modern day centre back. So I wouldn't go 5 because I'm not going to say I'm some kind of expert on him, but I have seen him play, and I would put for Juve to replace the list. I would give it a 4. So 3, 4, 5, yeah. And now we have a very good well, let me do say what I think about it. But
yeah,
we have a proven player for years now. I think he's 31 right now. We have Koulibaly from Senegal to Chelsea for 38 million.
yeah, big up that bio.
From Napoli.
No. I just wanted to say Senegal because he's a monster and he's a monster.
I mean, honestly, he's been a player linked with everybody for the past good few years, including United. I mean, he never came. I think 31 years old, a little old, not too old. I think he's in his prime. 38 million is a scary one because I don't want to play against him. So I would say just because he's over the 30 mark, I'll give him a 4. Other than that, I would give him a top 5.
Johnny.
Without bias, Koulibaly is the signing of the season.
Wow.
I think Koulibaly is one of the best defenders in the world.
He
and
is.
He might even overtake Van Dijk as. the
No,
Premier
but I
League.
mean Van Dijk isn't as good as people
Well,
say.
I mean,
he is,
people
in
will
my
rate
in
Van
my
Dijk.
mind.
People will rate Van Dijk as the best Premier League defender, but I think
Yeah.
this season we will see Koulibaly emerge as that player.
Okay.
Some might say Syria attacks. I won't because he's shown at Napoli that he's a great leader.
Stop
and
disrespecting in Syria.
he's a bit aggressive. He might pick up his yellow cards. He might
Which is
average
fine.
like a red card every season, but
Which I think is fine.
that comes with his game, and that's why he's so good. He's also great at playing the ball. He's gonna fit in, and he's gonna be the perfect Rudiger replacement.
Okay.
If I could give him a 10, I would give him a 10.
If you could have given him a kiss, you'd have given
Well,
him
you're
a
giving him
kiss.
5. You know you're giving
I
him
would
5.
give him a 5.
Right.
Watch out for Senegal in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Well, I really rate this player too. He's a very experienced defender. He was Napoli's best. He was Napoli's best player. I would say
for sure.
after other than Insigne and Tim that used to be the Koulibaly was the man. He was the captain.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think he's not like very similar to Rudiger. He has traits like Rudiger, but Rudiger was obviously a better ball carrier. But Koulibaly is a very good defender.
He's an upgrade.
Yeah, no, Rudiger is a bitch compared
Nah,
to him, to be real honest.
I just rate Rudiger very highly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why.
yeah,
But I think he's a very good replacement for him.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna fit in well in the Premier League. And I'm just fed up here. This man linked to Manchester United so much times. I will give it a 4.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean, honestly, I think as a striker in the Premier League going up against him, I'll
Koulibaly,
be
yeah.
bummy, bro.
For sure.
But I just fed up finally he's not linked to Manchester United again because I wanted him so wanted him so long ago and
For sure, but no.
obviously we don't do nothing. We don't
we don't do nothing. We don't even play football
obviously
anymore.
we buy the wrong players.
we don't do
we
nothing.
get Harry Maguire instead for
No, we smell now. We spend
Let's just lie down
$1
and collect 4.
billion.
we instead of spending the money on
How much we
Koulibaly,
spend? $1 billion.
$1
in 10
billion
years
in
to
the
get
last
like
decade.
4-0.
But obviously instead of using the money wisely we go and buy
Harry
Maguire
and
for
given
the
captaincy.
captaincy.
Wow. Right,
Alright,
sorry. We
but-
done rant.
We don't rage. We get 4-0 today.
Yeah.
So now this is an interesting one coming from Ligue 1.
No, you know what would be funny? Sorry, just okay.
Yeah.
We filming this the same way. The same day we filmed the last episode, right? And we say we get 4-0 today. Imagine we get 4-0 from Liverpool next time. And it works the way we drop it. That would be
It's
kind of
entirely
right.
possible.
We could probably get more.
We in a shambles right
Yeah.
now.
Sorry, I just thought it was interesting.
Just come like a toxic girlfriend, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're moving on to an interesting one. Still a young defender in Botman to Newcastle for 37 million.
Yeah.
What's your take?
I mean, Newcastle spent 37 million. First of all, they should get. I think it's the start of let's see where Newcastle goes. I'd give them some time, but man, I think it's a good signing. 37, yeah. 4.
4?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think for Newcastle he's good.
Alright, Johnny.
Botman, I think he's a great player. I was surprised he picked Newcastle over AC Milan because Milan was playing very hard after him. I think it's the start of Newcastle kind of showing we're not going to spend exorbitantly, but we're going to make smart signings. And I think Botman is one of those signings that is very smart. He slots straight into the starting lineup. Newcastle have already kept 2 clean sheets.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to keep a lot of clean sheets for their club as well and help them aspire to do more.
What's your rating?
I will give Botman a 4.
4? Now for me, Botman is a signing at the start of the new era that Newcastle is trying to achieve. They signed Bruno Guimaraes, who's a very brilliant signing.
Boss.
Yeah, he's a very good signing. I think Eddie Howe is doing a really good job. Botman is one of the biggest prospects coming out of Europe, and he signed for Newcastle. Obviously, he picked Newcastle over AC Milan, and I think he's going to have a very good future. Obviously, Premier League is a different thing from Ligue 1, but I think he's a very good player for what Eddie Howe wants. Obviously, Eddie Howe wants to play more progressive football with Newcastle, and I think he's a very good ball playing centre back as well. So I would give it a 4. Now we're moving on to
This is the dog favorite. I think
this
this is
is
like
one-
his favorite signing.
yeah. Now we're moving on to one of my favorite signings and one of my favorite players. Go Armies. What do you think about Scamacca for 36 million to West Ham? Gianluca Scamacca.
Yeah, nah, big him up. I think he's a great signing. I think for West Ham is a good signing because he could have probably gone to a lot of different teams.
Yeah, for sure.
I think West Ham is an interesting one. I was surprised that he went there. I think in the Premier League too he will do good. He's an interesting player, whereas he seems to be adaptable. So I will say 5. I'll give him a 5. Yeah.
Okay.
36 million, dog. You know, if United bought him, it would be double.
The price the price isn't bad, but
Yeah.
what I would say is I
Bring
was
some
surprised.
spice in,
I was
bring some
surprised.
spice.
I was surprised he signed for West Ham.
Same.
Because he's Italian, and usually
same.
Italian players they will
Like
jump.
to stay in the league.
They like to stay in the league. They like
Yeah.
to. So big ups to him
Yeah.
for testing his
Mental
resolve,
strength.
his mental strength, and his resolve to play in the Premier League. He'll compete with Antonio, not much of a competition.
Yeah.
Antonio is winding down. But Scamacca, boy, he has a lot of potential, but he could also flop as well. So I would say
Like
3.
that man Zaza.
Oh, yeah, bro.
3?
Yeah,
3.
because who is the last Serie A striker to come and have success?
He will be the first. It was Pato. You remember all the great success
Good
that was
joke.
Pato?
Lukaku come shit on himself. Who else come, boy?
From Syria.
Yeah, striker.
Simon Zaza.
Zaz.
Now for me I could go on about Scamacca whole day.
And he will. We don't have much time.
Yeah,
Time. I say we're 36.
He's one of my favorite prospects coming up. Obviously, I'm an Italian fan, so I kind of biased in a way too. But I think he has all the traits to fit in the Premier League. He's a very good player. He's very physical. He could hold up the ball well. Even though he's a big man, he has very good technical ability, which is very underrated on his part. He still needs to work on his movement and his positioning. Sometimes when after he holds up the ball, he still needs to work on that a little bit. But other than that, Scamacca for me is a brilliant signing. I think he's gonna be one of the best strikers in the world in the future. I'm going goal.
Pick up yourself.
Gianluca Scamacca. I've been following him for a while now from Sassuolo. Sassuolo has a lot of good young Italian talent. I think he's gonna do well in the Premier League. I think West Ham is a good stepping stone from him. And hopefully David Moyes gets the best out of him, so I will give it a 5 as well as Armies. Yeah.
David Moyes doesn't.
So
really
question, Scamacca signing of the season for you?
I would say Gianluca Scamacca will be signing this season. I think after this season his value is gonna fucking skyrocket. I put all my chips in it. I think Scamacca is gonna be one. I think Scamacca is gonna be one of the best players.
He'll come back next season with a Scamacca tattoo.
Yeah, have a jersey already.
I have a jersey anyway, even
From who?
from West
West
Ham.
Ham.
I just a big fan of him. His technical ability for a big man is
Whoa!
brilliant. I think he has a lot of potential, and I really just like his mentality. I know his background story as well, but I'm not going to go into detail.
We can do that next episode.
Yeah, next episode. So now we're still in the Premier League. Now we have an interesting signing, Onana to Everton for 36 million. This player is not really known about, but people been talking about him. So
I don't know him. I don't know him at all. What
it's
position?
a midfielder.
I know the
defensive,
name.
yeah.
I know the name, but I never saw him play per se. What team
Yeah,
he came from?
That's the problem.
It was Lille, that's it?
Lille. He came from Ligue 1. I know he came from Ligue 1.
I mean, this is me just going off of what I've heard. I've never seen him play. I would be safe with a 3 because I don't want to
3?
give all your BS.
3? Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really rate the signing as yet because he's very raw.
Mhm.
He's very young too. I think
He's very
20.
what?
Pause. A very raw player. Player in
Alright.
terms of his skill set and his development so far. He hasn't really started consistently for Lille, which so the price tag was very high in my opinion.
For non-starter in
Yeah, for
yeah.
non-starter, but he's Belgian. I'll have a little Belgian bias. he could do good. I mean, he looked good today. So I will say I'll give him a 3.
3?
Yeah, I'll be on the fence on that one.
To be fair, I have never seen him play. I've heard about him through Twitter,
Yeah.
but I've never seen him play. Should I go with Johnny on his take since you know more about him? But I don't really watch League On. Sorry to say, is that kind of.
That's fine.
Onana to Everton, I'm just gonna give it a 2 because F. Frank Lampard. I hope he goes down. But on Everton, I think so far the track record.
And you put him together like who's
No, I didn't put him. I put him to edge it, but.
So
I,
this episode we had to put explicit content right there.
but I think Everton's track record so far with transfers have been shitty. Like the Dele Alli come to the
sure,
bench.
for sure.
I rate Mikalenko a little bit, but I'm not gonna move on to that. I just hope Frank Lampard burns. I just hope Frank Lampard burns. I will just give it a 2. I don't really know much about the player.
Here's some heat in that voice dog.
I think he's the worst manager in the Premier League.
clearly Luma has some
Some pent-up anger.
pent-up anger
That's from United, but we sorry.
from Chelsea winning so much in the past.
Chelsea!
Lampard inspiring Chelsea the titles in the past.
Alright, so now we have our next guy from Porto. Obviously, we covered Vitinha from Porto. This is Fabio Vieira, who was linked to Manchester United as well. He's a more attacking player than Vitinha. I know more about him because I've seen him play in the youth Euros. What y'all think? What y'all think about Fabio Vieira? Is he gonna replace Odegaard, or is he gonna even get into the Arsenal team? He went to Arsenal for 35 million, by the way. So.
Again, ain't gonna be a say I don't know the dog. They produce great players, 35 million, a bit much. I'm going again with my safe option 3 because I don't know.
3?
The last Vieira to play for Arsenal was a legend.
Boss.
So maybe he could pick up from where Vieira left off. Fabio Vieira, I mean, he's a very niche player. He's one of those 10s. He could play on the wing as well, but he's more of a 10 type player. They already have Odegaard who fits that mold. So I'm not sure where Fabio Vieira will ever end up in the starting 11, but as depth, I think he's great depth. I mean, Arsenal competing in Europa as well too. So I think he will have a part to play in that. So I will give Fabio Vieira 3.
3?
Yeah.
Now for me, I think he's Arsenal been having a trend signing young players, and they've been turning into very good talents. I think he's a very, as Johnny said, a hybrid player. He could play multiple positions. And so far what I've seen, especially from highlights, he looks like a very good technical footballer, and he looks like he could do well with Arsenal. Obviously, I don't know if he's going to break into the Arsenal team. He hasn't played yet. I think he's injured. I'm not sure. I think he's injured.
Yeah.
He wasn't on the bench either. So I think he could do very well for Arsenal. I would give him, from what I've seen from highlights, I would put it a 4. But it's a long-term buy, so we'll see what he does in the future.
For sure.
Right, so
Right.
now question, we can't add them thing up.
No, we're not adding signing of the season.
So my question,
Signing from this board.
our top 10 is here
Our top-
already.
Yeah.
So that's our locked in top 10, which we make in the graphic
Uh-huh.
for.
Our top 10, we will once we combine the totals.
Once we combine the
we will-
totals,
we'll have
we
a
will give
graphic.
you all our top 10 on Project Patois FC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the Instagram.
And the video.
And in the video,
And
we just wouldn't
we
show you
will-
us
yeah.
adding it
So
up
we'll
because that'll
give-
take too long.
After
our
after
math
we
is
add up
terrible.
all the averages, you all will see our top 10 list,
Alright,
and you all will see it. So
right. So my signing of the season,
from this list,
from
because
this
these are
list,
the most. This is the top
most talked
20,
about, yeah.
most talked about, top 20 most Alright. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Don't worry, we have 6 minutes left on the SD card, and Loom just shit himself when he sees it, right? So, my signing of the season, 6 minutes is real time, relax.
Okay, yeah.
Breathe,
Sign of the season.
breathe.
Let's go.
Haaland for me,
Haaland.
definitely Haaland. I think for 60 million, you can't go wrong. I think for what he's going to do in terms of City and football as a whole,
Yeah.
I am afraid. So I'll go with Haaland.
Johnny.
Well, I already talked about my sign of the season, Koulibaly. I think he will offer great value to us, and I think he will give us that leadership that we're missing.
I'm gonna, well, you all know, but I'm gonna be different and pick.
You all know.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Gianluca Scamacca. I think he, in terms of value, I think he's very underrated. Not much people talk about him, and they will be talking about him at the end of the Premier League. I'm gonna put Gianluca Scamacca for 36 million. I think West Ham is a very good stepping stone. I think he's gonna go to a big club in the future. Obviously, Haaland is a very good choice too, but I'll go with my heart for this one, Gianluca Scamacca.
Right, so thank you very much. We will post a graphic up. Boom. And what we'll do is we'll also make a graphic to show you our signing of the seasons. You let us know if you agree.
Yeah.
Who is your signing of the season?
Yeah.
Follow us on
Love to hear
Instagram.
that.
Project Patois FC, join our FPL, big up everybody there, look out for our lives, and
Come
yeah,
check out the store as well.
come check out the
Yeah.
store. We're in Sutton Street, San Fernando, the Project Patois Laboratory.
It's August 13th right now of recording. Obviously, the transfer window hasn't closed yet.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
but as of right now, these are the top
These are
20.
the people we're working
Yeah,
on.
these people we're working on. Frankie de Jong, please come Manchester United. Please come Manchester United.
Alright.
Thanks
Thanks,
guys, like, share,
Like,
subscribe,
comment,
on the little
subscribe.
bell, ding ding ding. Love you all.
Later.
Later. I had to beg.
No, you-
Thank you.